Further discussion on the motion to substitute. Representative Post.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Speaker. A question to the carrier.
Good morning. Question to the carrier. Does the carrier yield?
Yes.
Thank you. I have a couple, actually, if you don't mind. Do you envision this task force, this state police task force, to be given the ability to use all necessary technology and skills available today to seek out and stop illegal gun sales in Oregon?
Yes.
Okay. Follow-up question?
Follow-up. Does the carrier yield?
Yes.
He does.
Could the members of this special task force be able to perhaps use technology, again, to monitor the activities of those involved in the abuse of a spouse or a partner, and perhaps, again, using technology, attempt to prevent those same people from attaining guns?
Yes.
Follow-up?
Follow-up. Does the carrier yield? Does the carrier yield?
Yes.
He does.
Could this special task force monitor and perhaps prevent the illegal gun sales from drug cartels in Oregon?
Yes.
One more?
One more. Follow-up. Do you yield? He does.
Yes.
The portion that talks about education, what kinds of education do you envision?
Thank you for that question. It will be education first and foremost on the existing law to let people know that the sale of a firearm to an individual who is a felon or has been adjudged mentally ill or is a domestic abuser, that is not legal for them to possess. So making sure that people know the law is first and foremost. But I would imagine that the state police have quite a few and robust ideas about how to talk not only about gun safety, but also how to be wingmen, as we say in my Air Force days, to be able to help identify and encourage those to seek help when they start the cycle, which we have heard about, that have led to such tragedies.
Okay. I'm sorry that made me want to follow up with one more. Is that all right?
Representative has another question. Does the carrier yield? He
Yes.
does.
Okay. Will firearm safety kits, including gun locks, be available free of charge to anyone who chooses to get them?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you then. To the bill?
To the motion.
To the motion, I'm sorry. Thank you. I asked those questions on purpose because that's what I read in the minority report, and I wanted to emphasize those. I think anybody here knows from my small, short amount of time on the Judiciary Committee that I am a law and order advocate. Lawbreakers should be busted. I'm not tolerant of law breaking in any form, and I want these people busted. The Oregon Constitution, Section 27, we talk about the Second Amendment a lot. The Oregon Constitution, Section 27, says we have the right to bear arms, military subordinate to civil power, military subordinate to civil power. The people shall have the right to bear arms for the defense of themselves, and the state, but the military, shall be kept in strict subordination to the civil power. Jared and Amanda Miller, Aaron Ibarra, Elliot Roger, Yvonne Lopez, Darian Marcus Aguilar, Carl Halverson Pearson, Paul Ciencia, Aaron Alexis, James Holmes, Jared Loeffner, Nidal Hassan, Jiverly Wong, Sunghu Chiu, and Naveed Haq all passed background checks, and they were involved in the shootings from Las Vegas to Seattle to Virginia Tech to the Maryland Mall. Adam Lanza, Sandy Hook Elementary, and Jacob Roberts, Clackamas Town Center, acquired their guns via theft, which cleared background checks. There is no budget item, to me, more important, period, than stopping deaths of innocent persons. So I would be in favor of any budgetary way to increase police stopping bad guys. This minority report goes after the bad guys. I would propose that we go after this special task force be a cease and desist, a search and destroy task force that would seek out gun sales and stop them in their tracks. I would even go so far as to look using the technology, which is why I asked the question, using the technology to find out perhaps where these sales may perhaps happen in the future based on good information with the current technology that we have and future technology that we have. Going after the websites. If there are websites like that were talked about in the long hearing that I was involved in the Rules Committee, if there are websites that are selling guns and saying no background check involved, wink, nod, shut them down. Go find those guys and bust them. I am in favor of that. There's a lot of people on my side of the aisle that don't like when I say that sort of thing. But I'm telling you, I want to go after them. I want to shut them down. This task force would be able to do that. Go after the cartels that are bringing guns up here and selling them. Go after the abusers who are finding weapons to kill and or hurt their former spouse, partner, whomever it might be. It says clearly within the Department of State Police, the Firearms Investigation Division, this new task force shall assign, and you've already heard the rest, 8 full-time cops to go out and bust criminals. How anybody could not get excited about this, I don't know. Are we truly for stopping crime? Then let's put our money where our mouth is. I urge that we pass this minority report, and thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Post.
Good afternoon now, Madam Speaker.
Good afternoon, Representative.
Madam Speaker, I move Senate Bill 941A be referred to the Committee on Judiciary.
Representative Post moves Senate Bill 941A be referred to the Committee on Judiciary. To your motion.
Thank you. A couple of thoughts. I thank you, colleagues, as we've had really a great debate on this bill. And as the minority reports indicate, there are still, to me, a lot of unanswered questions. By the way, some of you may know, maybe not, I was privileged to be invited to sit in on the Rules Committee that had the hearing that one night. It went on for 7.5, 8 hours. And it was I think, a great day of public testimony. And the chair, I want to thank her again, Chair Hoyle, for allowing everyone to speak as long as they wanted to, within the framework that was set up to get as many people to speak as possible. And it showed our democratic process. And I was very proud to be a part of that and privileged. But the problem is then the bill was worked the very next day. And this bill would benefit from some further work. I believe it would be particularly benefited by being discussed in Judiciary, where it should have been referred in the first place. One of the things that I think is so cool about this place are the rules, the protocols, the traditions of this building. And one of them is that generally a bill starts in a committee in the other chamber and then comes to the sister committee in this chamber. And in this case, it didn't happen. And traditionally, gun bills and criminal statutes go through the Judiciary Committee, and this bill was heard in the Senate Judiciary Committee. And already this session, our committee, mine, the one I am on, Judiciary, has discussed and vetted a CHL bill, a gun storage by Department of Correction personnel bill, and other crime and gun-related bills. Another reason why the Judiciary Committee should be allowed to vet this bill is that it is made up of both lawyers, sadly, and I'm kidding, I had to get that in, and other former law enforcement officers, including our distinguished chair. I had a bill that was House Bill 3528 that would have actually made really good sense and would have been a wonderful way to amend this particular bill, and I urge that we adopt the main parts of that bill. I strongly urge that we send this bill, SB 941, to the appropriate committee, Judiciary, to review and consider its implications for our fellow Oregonians. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Further discussion on the motion to refer the bill to Committee on Judiciary. Representative Neerman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To the motion?
To the motion.
Colleagues, this bill, as you know, has a emergency clause on it. I took an oath to uphold the Constitution, and I think the idea of the Constitution is that the citizens of the state of Oregon have a right to refer that bill to the voters, to have that bill be referred to the voters. That emergency clause takes away that right. And there were several amendments put up that removed that emergency clause. I recommend that we send this bill back to committee and remove that emergency clause off it. So in the end, the citizens of the state of Oregon can have their voice, can have their right. There's no possible other reason to have an emergency clause on this bill other than to take away the rights of the citizens of Oregon under the Oregon Constitution to have their say on this bill. Thank you very much. I urge a yes vote.
Thank you. Further discussion? Representative Reed,
Madam Speaker, point of inquiry.
state your question.
Madam Speaker, could you advise what would happen if the motion were to be adopted and the committee and the bill were referred to the Committee on Judiciary?
Representative, thank you for the question. Because of our rules that were adopted early at the beginning of session, if a bill was not posted for a work session by a certain date in that committee, it would be dead. So if this goes back to the Committee on Judiciary, it would be dead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Further discussion on the motion to refer to Committee on Judiciary? Seeing none, Representative Post, would you like to close? He does not. Colleagues, I am in error. Let me respond back to the representative again. Because it is a Senate bill, if it were to go back to Judiciary, we are still under different deadlines for Senate bills, it would be alive. However, it was referred to rules originally, but I apologize for the confusion. We are now under, Representative Post, did you have a question?
No, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, excellent.
Thank you.
Yes. Apologize for the confusion. You know, all important bills are House bills, but this is a Senate bill. So we are now up for the vote on the motion to refer to the Committee on Judiciary.